Hello, I am Lizzie and this is Lizzie Reads and welcome to my autumn winter coming months TBR sort of thing. I would call it winter because basically autumn winter blur into one, and all of these are sort of like the coming months, what I want to read, what I'm into. I'm just going to go in any random order because of what I've got here. The first one I'd like to talk to you about is Undead Girl Gang by Lily Anderson, and Minx Laura sent this to me. I know I talk about her a lot. But yeah, she's lovely, and I love her videos. She sent this to me and I'm really excited to read it. It's basically about a young it's a young witch who whose best friend dies, and she believes it to be under mysterious circumstances. So she casts a spell that brings her and some others who she doesn't actually like back to life, and they were bullies of hers. She brings them back to life to try and find out who murdered them, and there's like a ticking clock before they have to go back to being go back to being dead. And yeah, I think this will be a great Halloweeny read. Yeah, and it's definitely, I'm not reading it just yet, I'm going to save it for October, but it's definitely a sort of soon to be read book. It's annoying. Next, another book I want to read this autumn winter is A Song for Izzy Bradley by Cara Spray, and I got this last Christmas and I really enjoyed Cara Spray's Sweet Home, and I keep saying that I want to read this. I've been including it in so many TBRs, but this is a book heavily about grief and a family dealing with the loss of one of their children / siblings, and yeah, it's heavily reliant on grief, and I feel like this might be more ideal for the winter time. That's when it gets darker and I'm more readily available to be reading something a bit more sadder. Next, we've got, I don't know what order I put these on in my pile, so we're going pretty good at the minute. Next, I've got The Paying Guest by Sarah Waters. Now, I've read four Sarah Waters books actually, and I've enjoyed every single one of them. She's one of my favourite authors, and this is her most recent novel, The Paying Guests, and it's set in 1922, and I think it's about a hotel, like a bed and breakfast type thing. I don't know much about it, and that's how I'd like it to stay because I want to trust in Sarah Waters, and I really wanted to read this for a long time, but I've been waiting, and I also got the same for Christmas from Tom, the same time I got the Cara Spray, but I really want this to sort of delve into this in the cold months, like drinking hot chocolate and tea. So yeah, that's why I've been putting it off for a while, even though I've I've included it in many TBRs. Next, we're moving on to some more fantasy reads. I've got Six of Crows by Leigh Bardugo, and this is another one I don't actually know a lot about, so I can't really tell you too much about it. That sounds so stupid and ridiculous and is incredibly annoying. But I believe it's a heist from it says here, six dangerous outcasts, one impossible heist. And I think the characters are really interesting, apparently, and it's quite well loved. I know Ben Anderson, who used to be Ben of Times, I'm not sure, but he really likes this, and that's where I originally bought it from. I've had it for such a long time. I think I read the first chapter, because there's a bookmark in it, but I don't remember it, so I'll go back to the beginning. And I feel like fantasy and that winter and autumn are perfect times for fantasy. Next, I've got this one I'm hoping to read at the end of September, so hopefully this coming month, and that is Jamaica Inn by Daphne du Maurier. And I've only read one Daphne du Maurier before, and that is Rebecca, and I really enjoyed that because it was so atmospheric. And I know that Lauren in the Books are reading this month, so I'm thinking maybe when I get back from holiday I'll pick it up and have it as a end of September, early October read. But yeah, it's set in the Cornish moors, and I think it's about a young girl whose mother dies, and then she moves in with her aunt and uncle. And I've seen bits of the TV show because my mum really loves the TV show, or the BBC adaptation, whatever it is. Yeah, so I've seen bits of that, so I've got sort of glimpses into what that should be like, and it's definitely a winter read. Autumn, winter, you know what I'm saying. Next, I've got The Eye in the Door by Pat Barker, and this is the second in the Regeneration series. And I read Regeneration when I was 17, 18, I think, for a school for English literature, and then I reread it again earlier this year, the first book, and I've been desperate to finish the series because I really enjoyed it. They're so atmospheric, they were so deep, they were so meaningful, there was so much about war going on in them, and I think yeah, I think I'm going to pick the second one up soon, probably around October time. Then what else have we got down here? We've got 2 more left. The next one is another sequel, and that is The Crown's Fate by Evelyn Skye, and that is the sequel to The Crown's Game. Where is it? I can't see it on my bookshelves. Ah, The Crown's Game by Evelyn Skye, and this is a fantasy novel set in Imperial Russia. And oh no, I was like smudgy again. That's so annoying. Hopefully it's not too bad. And that is a fantasy novel set in Imperial Russia, and it's about, what are their names? Vika and Pasha and Nikolai. They're the 3 main characters. There's a bit of a triangle in the first book. That's sort of resolved. Yeah, this, I'm not sure how they're going to go from this. I got really sucked into The Crown's Game, so I'm really looking forward to reading this. And just the colours make me think of sort of autumn winter months. Oh, that's going to be really annoying. We're going to have to do it like this. Sorry, I like my books to be stacked nicely. Oh gosh. Oh, that one's poking out, doesn't matter. And then next, I'm also got A Skinful of Shadows by Frances Hardinge, and I've been trying to read this for ages. It's been on so many TBRs. You guys are probably sick of me talking about it, but it's a magical realism YA, I think. Is it YA? Or thingy. All I know is, and this is all I tell you, it's got beautiful spine end papers, because that colour is gorgeous. It's very autumnal, the cover's autumnal, and it says here, this is the story of a bare-hearted girl. And I think it's got ghosts and spirits and things like that in it, and I'm really, really excited to read this because I think it's going to be so autumnal, so exciting, so interesting, and I've heard a lot of good things about it. Mel's Bookland Adventures talked about it, and it was given to me by a lovely friend last Christmas, so I think this is perfect coming months to read it. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 books. 8 books on my TBR, so that's pretty achievable. That should be done pretty soon. Right, so actually I'll put that there in a minute. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you'd like to comment, subscribe, do any of those random things, like, I'd really appreciate it. But if you don't want to, don't worry about it. Thank you so much for watching. Goodbye.